Alright, so for the first event, we're looking at a 4x400 meter and a 1 RM snatch. A couple of things, strategically speaking, you want to keep in mind. Number one, and probably the most important piece, is going to be this correlation between ankle flexibility and sprinting speed. So we need to make sure that we mobilize the foot, which we'll talk about in a bit. Second thing to keep in mind is an equipment change, which again goes back to some mobility stuff. If you know that bottom position of the snatch is a tricky spot for you, you might want to think about changing from running shoes to lifting shoes while your partner's doing some warm-up reps or whatever. Third piece here is going to be no static stretching. So we're going to be out there sprinting. We don't want to be stretching, particularly static stretching our hamstrings right before we go run, and need to be fast and powerful. So what does that mean? From a mobility perspective, heel cord is important. And by heel cord, what I'm talking about is the foot and the calf. So we're going to hit both of those pieces. And we're going to use the barbell to do that. So the way that I like to use this barbell, a couple different approaches. Number one is to just go straight away on the barbell, and we're going to work side to side rather than back and forth. So I'm not rolling this way, I'm going right to left. And I'm starting at that heel, and I'm working up toward the ball of the foot. If you're like most people, the outer part of the foot is really stiff, you can work over here on the collar too. Get on the inside there of that lateral part of the foot, the outer part of the foot that just gets really stiff and tight. Again, you want to try to work left to right rather than just rolling up and down to get a better result there with that. Alright, so second piece of that is going to be the calf. And you're probably going to need a partner or a medicine ball or something to get some leverage. We're going to go low calf, mid calf, and high calf. And again, we're going to work side to side. And maybe 10 or 12 passes. You're going to spend about 2 minutes or so, or 1 minute I guess, on each calf. So let's hit that low calf, let's hit the mid calf, and then let's hit the high calf, and get somebody to help you out with that. Second piece is going to be glutes, 2 minutes per side, and what we're going to do is just sit on the lacrosse ball. So we need to open up the back of the hip so we can get better hip extension. That's going to make you a little faster. And then hopefully whip that barbell up into place a little quicker as well. So what am I doing? Right here is where my hamstrings come into my hip. Right here's my glute. I'm working on this side of the hip. So the glute, the part that you sit on all day long, that gets stiff and tight. Right? So all I'm doing is working around in a circle and hang out close to your tailbone and see what you can find in that inner glute, and then work yourself out from there. So you're going to spend 2 minutes on the right and then switch it over and get 2 minutes on the left. Last piece is going to be the hamstring. So now we're working from hip down to the knee. So separating those two out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is bring it up into the high hamstring here. Get myself centered over the weight. Find a tight or irritable spot. And then I'm just going to tack and kind of floss through that. So again, let's get some movement here. Keep this dynamic, no static stretching. And just work. Start at the high hamstring and work down to the medial or the mid hamstring, opening that up, and you should see a little greater knee range each time you work through that. So you're going to spend 1 minute at least on each hamstring there. All right.